Welcome back, everybody. Rodrigo Fonador here with another episode of Asheville Real Estate News. Real estate's about the numbers, and today we're going to dive into what those numbers are when it comes to what the market's doing, how the market is maybe shifting, maybe it's not shifting. We're going to find out the answer to that today. We're going to look at what's happened in Q2 of 2019. So we're filming this as of July 2nd, and so in theory, this information is as updated as we can possibly get, and we're happy to share that. We're going to delve into this a little bit. If you're curious what happened in Q1, just rewind, go back a couple of episodes. We did a great episode with Stephanie of EXP Realty, and we talked about what the numbers are for Q1 there. Today, we are with Elena Kovrigin.
Got it.
For whatever reason, I think anytime I mention your last name, I just have a massive just fumble, and I cannot pronounce it correctly, unfortunately. Welcome to the show again. I think it was about a year ago. We did, was it a year ago exactly?
A little over, I think.
Yeah. So it was a long time coming to get you back on the show. So welcome.
Thank you.
Get to see the studio. Last time we did it in your office.
Yes.
And
major upgrade.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
I love all the equipment.
Yeah, thank you.
Very fancy.
Yeah, it's been fun. Been a fun journey for sure so far.
I need to remember to talk to.
Oh yeah. It'll catch it either way, but it doesn't hurt. So before we even get into the numbers, you're with Nesting Dolls Realty at Coldwell Banker King.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into real estate, and what you do now.
I am a real estate agent. I've been in the business for 2.5 years. Previously, I was an X-ray tech. I think every real estate agent previously did something else, completely opposite. I actually wanted to get into real estate before the recession, but then I did not, and I got into X-ray school, became an X-ray tech. And then after I had a baby, I decided it was a time to change and do something for myself, get more fulfillment and in my life. So here I am. Nesting Dolls Realty is, every real estate agent is a business owner, but no matter who we're affiliated with, we are still...
kind of run your own thing.
Yes. So Nesting Dolls Realty is my personal brand, not personal brand, but my LLC and the name of my website, nestingdollsrealty.com.
And so one thing I do want to point out is you have a killer YouTube channel. You do some great videos. So give you a platform, though, there right now to talk about what you do and how you do that and the purpose maybe behind some of the videos that you do and what you're hoping to get, accomplished or educate people on.
Well, I decided to put my eggs in a couple of different baskets, big baskets. Facebook and Instagram is one because Facebook owns Instagram, and then Google, that owns YouTube. So that's where I'm at mostly. The goal is to release weekly videos that educate buyers and sellers about the process of buying and selling real estate specifically in North Carolina, but some topics can be kind of broad enough.
Right.
And then what it's like to live in Asheville, just general life in Asheville. Actually, one of my most popular videos is 10 reasons to move to Asheville.
I'm sure people love the fact that you're encouraging people to move to Asheville. Have you gotten any pushback from that?
No,
just curious.
I haven't gotten any pushback yet because I haven't shared my videos on Wax.
Oh boy. Or Asheville politics. I feel like there's a lot of. Yes. I mean, that's going to be a whole different topic. But we had the mayor on. I think it came out that episode about a month ago. We talked to her at the end of April, and it was interesting. I was like, so, how do you balance the fact that this economy is driven so much by incoming tourism dollars and growth, yet with so many people kind of fighting back and pushing back against people coming in?
Right.
And I'm paraphrasing here. Obviously, I don't remember. Can't quote. She was like, hey, you're just not going to make everybody happy. And it is what it is. People are coming here whether we want them to or not. And we just have to grow with that. And that's just part of the challenge of living in such a, beautiful spot. Like, it's sticky here, right?
Right.
Neither of us are from here, and we're still here, right? Because you show up and you don't want to leave.
What I love about Asheville, and I think a lot of people do, that's the same reason for a lot of people, is the fact that we have a ton of local places, local restaurants, great food scene, music scene. But the funny thing about it is that I think the research and supports it, that a lot of businesses, local businesses, are actually supported by tourism, not by tourists, not local people. So
shh, don't tell anybody.
Nope. Cut it out. I encourage not only tourists, but mostly locals to support local businesses. That's why I had a video blog, Business of the Week, for a year. And I interviewed about 40 local businesses, because that's what I support. And some of the businesses, local businesses that disappear, it hurts me, and I don't want them to go. That's why I want them shed light to some businesses that may be new or newer, or doesn't matter, local business.
Right, for sure.
Is what I want to support.
No, it totally makes sense. I get that for sure. So let's talk about the real estate market in general. Before we even get into the numbers, I kind of have got into the habit of asking this question because I really like it. What's your gut say? Or if you were going to have this conversation and like somebody stops you on the street and is like, oh, you're an agent. How's the market doing? How do you answer that question?
The market, first of all, real estate, the market is very hyper-local.
Right. So how's the market here in Asheville then?
In Asheville, it's doing good, but it depends on who you ask and what price range you ask in.
Okay.
It's not all black and white. It's not. I mean, generally, we are in the seller's market right now. But it depends on the price range. The lower the price range, the stronger the seller's market is. I mean, we all know that it's a challenge to find anything in the 200s price range.
Yeah, that's
it flies off the shelf. So sellers have great advantage in that price range. But the higher we go, and I just looked it up this morning, right after 550,000 price range, it shifts dramatically into the buyer's market.
Interesting.
So if you're looking to buy a house in a 550 price range and up, buyers are.
It's a good time to do it.
Yes.
Fair enough.
It's been for a while,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to stay, and it's probably going to shift in more. We've been seeing a shift towards more of a balanced market. For a while, it's kind of slow, and with the recent interest rates being low, and after Federal Reserve indicated in March that they're probably not going to raise them until the end of the year, so that
The
opened
interest
up
rates?
Opened up a pool of more buyers entering the market.
Right. So let's take this conversation very basic, and then we'll kind of build on that.
Okay.
What's a buyer's market?
A buyer's market is where a buyer has an advantage. There are not a whole lot of there's a lot of inventory that sits on the market for a longer time. Buyers have a luxury of picking and choosing, and have a luxury of time. So meaning they don't have to rush. There are probably not going to be multiple offers on the table. They have a luxury of time, and they can pick and choose, and they can dictate their terms on the contract a little bit better. They have an advantage.
And so what's a seller's market?
Sellers is the opposite. When sellers have an advantage, and when there's a lot of buyers competing for the same house, and as soon as the house gets put on the market, it flies off the shelf. Sellers can dictate their terms, and their terms are a little bit stronger, and they can win usually.
Totally get that, yeah. So, okay, well, let's have this conversation. And so when you were researching and getting ready for today to talk about the numbers, was there anything that surprised you that you were, or was everything kind of what you expected?
Not really. I mean, it didn't surprise me because I've been watching the market every month, and it kind of, I can see the trend, and especially with the interest rates being low. And I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I heard somewhere one of the lenders mentioned that it's been the lowest in 2 years. So that's good for the buyers. It opens up a lot of opportunity for buyers. It makes home ownership more affordable for more buyers. But at the same time, it's good for sellers too, because more sellers have more buyers competing for their house. So nothing really surprised me. I see across the board in Buncombe, Henderson, and Haywood counties, I've been seeing that the number of homes for sale increasing compared to last year, same time last year. So in the second quarter, average sales price continues to go up compared to the same time last year across all counties, except for Haywood. Has been kind of up and down, but not a huge difference.
Well,
there.
what do you mean by up and down for Haywood
Well,
County? Because we just started doing some work in Haywood County,
Well,
so I'm personally curious about that.
In April, for example, in the first month of second quarter, the average sales price went up, then it went down.
And that was on a year-by-year comparison?
Yes.
So like April 2019.
compared to 2018.
Okay.
And then in May, it went down, but just by like $14,000. So it's not really significant, but still, that's just the data.
Right.
And then in June, it went up again. So not...
So it's kind of just up and down, up and down.
in Haywood County, not a whole lot. But in Buncombe and Henderson, it's been increasing compared to the same.
So
last year.
you looked at this data. What does it tell us? What are you interpreting from it? What are you reading? What's the story that we have?
That's, I think that those interest rates being low and being speculated that they're not going to be increased opened up opportunities for more buyers. Even though the prices continue to go up, we still see more sales compared to the same time last year, which is surprisingly.
Right. So prices are going up, but then there's more houses being bought at the same time.
There's still a good opportunity for a lot of sellers to sell their house.
Right.
I would caution sellers to still be mindful of what the market is telling them, or the feedback from the market when they put the house on the market.
Right.
I see consistently that a percentage of sellers testing the market, but then their houses ending up going for $15,000-$20,000 less in a 200 mid 300s price range. Everyone wants to get the most for the house. That's understandable, but first of all, even if you have a buyer, your house has to appraise unless the buyer comes from the about 30% of cash buyers who probably not going to do it.
So there's 30% of the cash buyers right now. So the houses. Wow. Where are they? Are they like investors, or are they like homeowners that are buying cash?
I have some clients of my own who have cash, who come from either retire from other states, and they sell their house in New York State, for example.
Yeah.
For a lot more than what they can get here, and that's a good deal for them.
Yeah, they're stoked.
Yes.
Wow. Do you think that's contributing to the prices going up? All these cash buyers flooding the market?
I mean, there's not a whole lot of all those cash buyers.
I mean 30%'s enough to like change a market though a little bit, like not like incrementally, but I mean. Well,
demand like changes the market.
Yeah.
The more demand we get, the more.
Well, I'm just wondering, it's like if I'm a buyer and I'm bidding against the house, and then a cash buyer comes in with an all cash offer, whatever, really strong offer.
Right.
On the next house that I bid on, I'd be a little nervous that it might happen again. So my offer might be a little bit more aggressive than it would have been, right? So I don't know. I'm wondering if have you seen that ripple effect, or?
It affects the market.
Yeah.
And then for those who have mortgage and get a loan and bid on a house, if they win, I mean, again, the house still has to appraise and go through the appraisal. So you can't beat the bank. I mean, the bank's going to do the appraisal anyways.
Right.
But yes, I think it contributes to all the people who are coming to Asheville from other states.
For sure.
And we all know that Asheville is not a very affordable place. It's less affordable than Charlotte or Raleigh, but still it's a great place to live. That's why a lot of people are moving here, and demand drives the prices up a little bit.
No doubt. So what are the numbers? Share the numbers a little bit, and then we can kind of dissect it from there.
So in Buncombe County, in the month of June, for example, there was a little dip for homes for sales, 1,292 compared to 1,333 same time last year.
Okay.
But average sale price in the month of June, it pretty much stayed the same, 389,438.
That's the average sale price?
Average, yes.
Wow. Okay.
In May, it was higher, 387,962 compared to May of 2018, 360,457. So that's a 27,000 difference.
Right.
As far as days on the market, it's 60 to 54 to 60 days compared to same time last year was 51 to 63, which is not really, a week. It's still
right.
It's still a good time. Number of solds, we had 324 in month of June compared to 318 in the same time last year. So a little more, not a whole lot, but still a little more. That's Buncombe County.
What about
Henderson County? We've been seeing, again, April and May, we had more homes for sale compared to the same time last year, but in June it kind of dipped a little bit, not significantly, 1,849 compared to 1,886 in 2018. But average sales price in Henderson County in the month of June was 277.42.
Wow, so it's almost about 100,000 less than for Buncombe County.
Yeah. Compared to 246,263 in 2018. So and it's been going up across the second quarter. So, like I said, prices continue to go up a little bit.
So is this a good time to buy?
It depends on who you ask. Depends on the price range.
What do you think?
I think, I can't tell, I'm not one of those agents who will be saying my clients, you have to buy. If not now, then, this is the best time.
Right.
You have to look at the whole picture. Does it make sense for them now to buy? Do they have a good credit score?
Well, let's say that you're an able and ready buyer. Good credit score. You can get financing, but you're not being, it's not like you need somewhere to live. Maybe I'm thinking about moving here and I'm going to move here whenever.
Buyers,
yeah.
If you have to buy, if you want to buy, if you're ready, now and until the end of the year would be the best time because of the interest rates.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that interest rate.
Yes, that's a great incentive.
I think I saw it was like 3.4 or something like that. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
I think it's a little higher.
Okay.
But again, it depends
Maybe
on
I'm just, that's wishful thinking then.
It's either upper, right below 4 or right above 4.
So give or take 4%, that's,
it's still great, but and that's going to stay with you for, 15, 30 years, depending on the kind of mortgage you get. So, if now and until the end of the year, until they raise those, and they are going to do it.
Right.
They're not going to stay like that. Definitely a great time for sellers now.
So if you're thinking about selling, now's the time. Pull the trigger. Go ahead and sell.
Especially summertime before the school gets back, because there's a couple of
slows
weeks,
down a little bit.
Well, people are generally busy with
Right.
kids and putting them back to school, and then it kind of picks up again right before the holidays.
Right.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. People want to settle and decorate the house. It's not necessarily think about staging
in the process
and
of
keeping
moving.
it clean.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, let's see. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to talk about when it comes to the numbers? Anything that we maybe might not have touched on? Anything that you think is important? Any tips?
We talked about very broad, numbers for Buncombe County, Henderson, Hayward, and real estate is very hyper-local, and it can change month to month, area to area, price range. It's all different.
Yeah.
It can be, depending where you are, it can be very different. For somebody who's have clients who are looking for 160,000 price range, it's a challenge. And they're not looking in Asheville, they're looking all around. It's a challenge to say the least.
Well, if somebody's looking for 160,000, we have a really cool 2-bed, 2-bath coming up in the near future. just by the way, if you have anybody
keep it in mind.
on a serious note. So I think I do want to touch on that. I want to focus in on what you just said. I think that's important. Good reminder for everybody. Like, people are like, holy cow, maybe like this $380,000 average price point for Buncombe County. They hear this and they're just like throwing their hands up and just saying, well, I'm priced out. I don't, I think you would agree that's not the case. Like, on an average basis, yes, you are priced out. But if you're putting a little bit of an effort and you've got a good agent, and I mean, keyword there's a good agent, not somebody who's not doing anything for you, but somebody who's really vested in seeing you get a house, you're going to be able to find something. It just means you're going to have to look a little harder than you might have 3 years ago. But that doesn't mean it's not there.
That's right.
It just means that it requires a little bit more effort.
Yes, and I always tell my clients, don't get discouraged, because when they start looking, and they would go and look at houses for 2-3 weeks, and it's not there, or it goes, somebody puts the offer before them. Don't get discouraged. I mean, it's a process, and you gotta be patient and not be discouraged, and just have faith that it's gonna be there.
So something's about to burst out of me. As you can look, 2 to 3 weeks is really not that long of a time when you're thinking about you're signing up for a 30-year mortgage.
Right.
So 30-year mortgage, 3 weeks. Like, 30-year mortgage, 3 weeks. It can take you 3 months if you need to find the right house that you're going to be happy in for 15 or 30 years. Like, a little, like, keep the purchase, like, I don't know, that context I think is super important to keep in mind.
I think a lot of people got not conditioned, but got spoiled by HGTV shows where they show that the agent shows them 3 houses and they pick, one out of those 3. Well, in real life, it's not like that.
No.
It's not a HGTV show. Also, in those shows, unless it's like, they go through the whole remodel afterwards, people think that they're going to find a house that's move-in ready, everything's perfect. Also might not be the case.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I feel like a lot of people learned from previous experience and from previous recession that maybe they shouldn't buy more house than they need.
Yeah.
And yes, the average sales price is in the mid to high 300s, but it doesn't mean that you probably need that.
Doesn't mean that's where you need to be. Yeah.
That's right. So.
No, I think that's a good reminder. I just wanted to harp on that a little bit. Is like, guys, like, if you're signing up for a 30-year mortgage, even if you're only going to be living there for 5 years or whatever the average is right now, maybe it's 10 years, like 3 months or 3 weeks is not that long of time to be making a decision on where you want to be for the next X amount of years. Like,
right.
A little bit of patience isn't going to kill anybody. Just
also being in Asheville, it's very hard when somebody's renting and they need to make that decision whether they're going to terminate the lease, because it's a challenge to find.
But again, even if you're giving up your security deposit, like, I know I've moved around, right? And I have been in 2 situations as a renter where I pay a security deposit and I'm paying rent in 2 places for a month or so or 2 months because the place I'm going to, it's like, well, it's worth it. Like, if you find something, like, I think you kind of, make a little bit of sacrifices in the short term to have that, like, long term, like, I mean, where you live is kind of important.
I can see, I see your thinking, but also for a lot of people, when you break down the cost of just buying the house, not owning the house, buying, how many thousands of dollars you need, including your down payment, closing costs, inspections, appraisal.
It's expensive,
earnest money, due diligence money. That's a subject for another video. But that's a lot of money for a lot of people.
Well, sorry, continue.
And losing that, deposit might be something that can hurt them. So
my opinion is if losing that deposit is going to make you unable to buy a home, arguably, it means you just can't afford a home.
Probably.
My 2 cents. I'm a big believer in renting, though. So, like, that's my thing. I'm always like, don't buy, rent, as long as you possibly can. As long as you can before your spouse really asks you to buy, or whatever the case may be. Owning a house is expensive.
It is.
It is not like people are like, oh, I'm going to make so much money. Maybe. You can. Like, if you bought in 2010, yes, you're probably sitting on great equity. But if you bought in 2006 and then you look 10 years later, are you really doing as good as you thought you were? Like, I don't know. That's my opinion. So people are worrying over a couple $1,000s about making, whether it's affordable for you to buy a house. If that's the swing on whether you make that decision, I get nervous.
I think you are in the minority the way you
for
think.
sure.
And I kind of agree with you, to be honest. I think
come over to the
sell high, buy low.
Yeah.
This is not a buy low time. I mean, unless you're in the 500 price range and above. This is not a buy low time by no means.
So, no, it's a funky market out there. So this is why we do the numbers, to get a pulse of it. And right now, plus 500 buyer's market, sub 500 seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's very generalized, so as Elena said, you need to get specific, talk to whatever agent you're working with, make sure you understand the neighborhood, make sure you understand the comps you're looking at, make an educated decision. It's possible, though, no matter what price point you're in, to find something good, I would think, though, right?
Right. It might take a longer time.
It's going to be harder than in some others, but yeah.
For those who seek.
They shall find, right? No doubt.
That's right.
Closing thoughts.
Good luck. Make wise decisions when it comes to buying or selling a house. Even selling the house. Yes, it's a seller's market, but does it make sense to sell a house right now? Do you have enough equity? Just because everyone yells it's a great time to buy or sell doesn't mean for your particular situation it's a good idea.
Truth.
So talk to your advisor, talk to your fiduciary, and your realtor should be your fiduciary. And if you don't trust your realtor, maybe you have a problem. But also look at the bigger picture, the other aspects of your life. Does it make sense? Is it a good time? Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you need to do it. So that's my thought.
Awesome. Where does somebody connect with you?
Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Nesting Dolls Realty, Coldwell Banker King, or just by my name, which is very easy to pronounce. And remember, Elena Kovrigin. Are you going to put it my...
Yes, we will. Okay. We'll put your handle. It'll be floating somewhere.
Thank you. Instagram, Elena Kovrigin.
Okay.
YouTube, Elena Kovrigin. Actually, no.
Nesting.
Excuse me. Nesting Dolls Realty.
I was going to say, it's like, man, am I...
Yes. I have a bunch of videos there. I'm also on LinkedIn, not as much. My main things are YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Well, there you go, everybody. If you have any questions about the numbers, you want to delve into that and get some specific numbers for your area, your neighborhood that you're looking at, reach out to Elena. In the meantime, see you guys all next Tuesday. I hope you have a great week. And as a reminder, first Wednesday of every month, we got our meetup. Come talk real estate with us, drink good beer, hang out, and super laid-back environment to just chat about real estate. And a lot of different people to ask questions, get your questions answered, etc. So every first Wednesday of the month at Archetype. And we'll see you all next Tuesday. Take care.
Thank you.